So work, power and energy. In this, for today, you will be learning the definition of work, power and energy and their formula and SI unit. Okay, so now let's go to work, power and energy definitions. Okay students, अब हामी work भन्नाले के भनिन्छ, how to calculate work, त्यसको definition के हो भनेर हामी त्यो बुझ्न गइरहेको छु. All living organisms are capable of work. First we have to understand that जुन चाहिँ काम भनिन्छ or work भनिन्छ त्यो सबै living organisms हरु तिनीहरु एउटा work गर्ने त्यसको क्षमता हुन्छ. Now in our normal sense हामीले work भनेको के बुझिन्छ, जुन कुराले हामीले काम गरेर पैसा कमाउँछौं त्यही नै work हो भनेर बुझिन्छ. तर physics मा it is not like that. Physics को definition अलग्गै हो. Okay, र physics मा what is the definition of work is, work is said to be done if a force applied to a body is capable of moving it in the same direction. That means work भनेको के बुझिन्छ, if I am applying a force to an object and due to my force if the object is moving in the direction in which I am applying force, त्यति बेला मैले काम गरे or मैले work गरे भन्नाले बुझिन्छ. Okay, like example, I have a box, I want to lift it up. Okay, मैले lift गर्नुको लागि तल भुइँबाट माथि lift गर्नुको लागि मैले के गर्नु पर्यो, I have to raise it. So where I have to apply force, I have to apply force in the upward direction. तर त्यो box move भएन. The box is very heavy, it is not being able to move. भनेपछि चाहिँ how much ever force I am applying, if my force is not bringing any movement or displacement in the box, then my work is zero. So in physics, to say that work is being done, what should be done? If a force applied to a body is capable, to force lay what it should be capable of? It should be capable of moving it. It means the object in the same direction. The same direction means जुन direction मा हामीले force apply गर्यो त्यही direction मा त्यो object move भयो भने then we can say the work is done. Now here are some examples to understand when can we say work is done and when can we say work is not done. When we stand in the sun for a long time but not walking, then we are not doing any work even if we are carrying load. So that means if you are standing in some place, okay, so it is like when we are, suppose we are when we are standing in the sun for a long time, कसैले हामीलाई go stand in the sun and take this box and wait. Okay, some special person is going to come and then you have to give that box to that person. But if we stand in the sun for a long time, for 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, our hand is paining because of that box we are carrying. So according to us, we are doing some work because we are standing, we are putting effort, we are putting our time. But then since we are not moving from one place to another, what will happen? According to physics, there is no work being done. Okay, so that means in physics, if you want to say work is being done, we have to apply force and also move an object. When we are walking, even if we are not carrying anything, we are moving an object. Which object? Our body. And we are applying force. Where? In the forward direction. So in that case, we can say work is being done. Okay, now in another example, when we carry some load and walk, then it can be said work is being done. The same thing. Why? Because force is being applied to move our body in the forward direction, and what is being done? Our body is being displaced. जहाँ पहिला हाम्रो body जुन original position मा थियो त्यो position बाट अलिकति अगाडि हट्यो, displacement भयो. So त्यस खण्डमा we can say work is being done. Or if we are pulling or pushing or lifting anything, this causes movement of object, then it can be said work is being done. Again, if you are pulling कुनै कुरा हामीले तानेर कि त push गरेर कि त lift गरिरहेछ नि, त्यो object को के हुन्छ, त्यसको position change हुन्छ. अनि हामीले त force त लाइ नै रहेछ. पुश गर्नुको लागि हामीले pushing force लाउँछ, pull गर्नुको लागि हामीले pulling force लाउँछ, हैन? अनि lift गर्नुको लागि हामीले against the gravity को विपरीत हामीले force लाउँछ र त्यो object पनि हाम्रो move हुन्छ र त्यो खण्डमा we can say that work is being done. Now, if work is being done, how to calculate how much work is being done? We can calculate it by using this formula. W is equals to F into S. F is force and S is displacement. कहाँबाट कहाँसम्म सर्यो र कति चाहिँ मुभ भयो त्यो अब्जेक्ट, त्यसलाई हामीले डिस्प्लेसमेन्ट भनिन्छ. For example, here you can see I have made one start and one finish. Suppose one object from the starting position we have pulled it and taken to another finished position. Okay, र त्यो कति डिस्प्लेसमेन्ट कति डिस्टेन्ससम्म त्यो अब्जेक्ट मुभ भयो त्यसलाई we call it as displacement. Okay, so work is force into displacement. Now when we calculate for any physical quantity we have to give unit. So now the SI unit of work is joule, Joule, joule. Now if I want to say, if 1 Newton of force, suppose a person is applying 1 Newton of force and displacing an object to 1 meter, त्यो मान्छेले कति काम गर्छ? 1 into 1 is equals to 1. So the work done by that person is 1 and the unit of work is joule. So the work लाई 1 joule भनिन्छ. Example, 1 joule भनेको के हो? 1 joule of work is done. 1 joule of work is done when 1 Newton force displace an object to 1 meter. जब 1 न्यूटन को फोर्स ले एउटा कुनै ऑब्जेक्ट लाई 1 मिटर सम्म सार्न सक्छ, त्यति बेला हामीले कतिको काम गर्यो भनिन्छ? 1 जूल को वर्क गर्यो, 1 जूल को काम गर्यो भनेर we can say. Now let us see what are the types of work. हामीले कसरी different types को work गर्न सक्छ र त्यो types को नाम के हो? Work can be done. See, you have to understand that work भनेको हामीले कुनै कुरालाई move गर्यो भने, अब त्यो कुरा जुन object move हुन्छ त्यो it can move in two directions. एउटा parallelly left right गरिकन like how we are walking, अनि एउटा up and down. Example, lifting a ball from the ground, jumping, त्यो सबै opposite the gravity को विपरीत को direction मा it can move. भनेपछि कुनै पनि object it can move in two ways. One, it can move against the friction, जुन चाहिँ left or right move गरेको हुन्छ. कुनै कुरालाई pull गर्नु, push गर्नु, or a person is walking, or a car is going. Okay, that is all against the gravity. So one kind of work can be done. That is all against the friction. So one work can be done, work done against friction. Example, pulling or pushing. कुनै पनि object left or right sideways move गर्नुलाई, that is known as work done against friction. Another example is work done against gravity. Gravity हामीले against the gravity हामीले कुनै पनि कुरालाई उचाल्यो तल, from the ground level. If you are going to pick up something, it is being lifted. All that is example of work done against gravity. Example I will give you. Example of work done against gravity is picking a ball from the ground. The ball is moving upward, so it is moving against gravity. So the work done can be said, that action is work done against gravity. Another example of work done against gravity is jumping. When we jump, we are applying force against the force of gravity. And our body is moving also, so the work done is said to be against gravity. Another work done is work done against friction. Now, when friction is something which will stop any object from moving, okay, that force which stops any object from moving by itself, that force is known as friction. र त्यो फ्रिक्सनलाई काट्नुको लागि हामीले एउटा गाडी चलाउँदाखेरि पनि what we do, we apply accelerator. हामीले त्यो फ्रिक्सन भन्दा पनि धेरै फोर्स हामीले एक्सेलरेटर प्रेस गर्दाखेरि when we apply more force, then the vehicle will go forward. Okay, otherwise due to friction the vehicle will not move. When we are standing, due to friction we are just standing, we are not falling. Okay, so now if you want to walk forward or if you want to walk backward, we have to apply a force in our legs which is more than the friction, and then we can walk backward or forward. So this, when we are walking sideways or any object is moving sideways from left to right, or when we are pushing or pulling any object, then the work said to be done is called work against friction. Our next topic is power. What is power? The definition of power is rate of doing work is known as power. Again, the rate of doing work is known as power. Rate means time. So how much of work can be done in how much of time? That is known as power. When we calculate power, we use this formula. P is equals to W divided by T. W is work and T is time. If we want to put the SI unit of work, that is joule, and time is second, so the power unit will be joule divided by second, or it is also known as watt. W-A-T-T, watt. So the SI unit of power is watt. Now suppose 1 joule of work is done by a car in 1 second. A car can do how much of work? Example, it is doing 1 joule of work in 1 second. Then what is the power of the car? We can say the power of the car is work divided by time. That means 1 joule divided by 1 second. When 1 divides by 1, then the answer will be 1. So the power is 1 and the unit is watt. Okay, so we can say now what is 1 watt? 1 watt is 1 watt bhaneko power ho when 1 joule of work is done in 1 second. Okay, so you'll be getting questions in your class 8 BLE also. 1 watt bhaneko ke bujincha? 1 watt bhaneko त्यो power ho when 1 joule of work is done by an object कति time ma? 1 second ma. त्यसलाई we call it as 1 watt. So only this much in power that you have to learn. The definition of power. Power is the rate of doing work. Rate, as soon as you hear the word rate, no? Rate means time. How much time is being taken. Okay. So the rate of doing work means एउटा कुनै वर्क गर्नको लागि कति टाइम लाग्छ त्यसलाई हामीले पावरमा we can calculate. SI unit of power is watt, also known as joule per second. Now 1 watt of power भनेको के बुझिन्छ? जब 1 joule of work is done in 1 second, then power is said to be 1 watt. Okay, so this much only you need to learn about power. We shall practice the formulas of work and power in our next class. Okay, now the next topic is the ability to do work is known as energy. Our next topic is energy. Like we discussed in class, if we have the capacity or the ability to do a work, then we have energy. If a body is able to do work, then it has energy. It simply says if a body is able to do work, whether it is a small work or whether it is a large amount of work, it simply means if a body is able to do, then that body has energy. The ability may change from object to object or person to person depending on situation. Now this, it simply means that all the person will not have the same amount of energy. If a person, between man to man also we have different levels of energy, or between man and machine also we have different levels of energy. Okay, so it will depend upon the situation, upon what kind of machine it is, whether the person is fit or not, whether the person is fit for the job or not, whether the person is healthy fit or not. It simply means that. If a person, example, it is just saying if a person has eaten well and has healthy body, then he or she can do more work because the body has chemical energy from the food. Now, what are the different types of energy? Some types of energy that we've already studied in our earlier classes are mechanical energy. This kind of energy, it is present in an object which is either moving or it is at rest. That means not moving. कुनै पनि object जुन चाहिँ move गरिरहेछ or जुन चाहिँ move गर्ने क्षमता छ तर त्यो टाइममा चाहिँ move गरेको छैन, then that object contains mechanical energy. Mechanical energy को पनि आफ्नो types हुन्छ, that we will explain later. Solar energy coming from the sun, wind energy, electrical energy, tidal energy, magnetic energy, heat energy, light एन्ड केमिकल एनर्जी यो बाहेक पनि अरू धेरै काइन्ड अफ एनर्जिजहरू हुन्छ फर नाउ वी क्यान रिमेम्बर अराउन्ड 6 or 7 नेम्स अफ एनर्जी अब त्यसमा एउटा वर्ड छ टाइडल एनर्जी भनेको द्याट काइन्ड अफ एनर्जी विच वी क्यान गेट फ्रम टाइड्स टाइड भनेको पानीको वेभ पानीको जब समुद्र वेन इन ओसन और इन सी त्यो पानीहरूको जब वेभ हुन्छ जब पानीको वेभ हुन्छ देन द्याट टाइड can also be used as a source of energy. Okay, now next let us go on to the kinds of mechanical energy. See here, mechanical energy are of two types: potential energy and kinetic energy. Potential energy is the energy which is contained in a body at rest and the body is raised to a certain height. So here in orange pen I have given at rest and raised to a certain height. So potential energy, it is contained in a body which is at rest. That means it is not moving and it is picked to a certain height. That means we have lifted the body from the surface of the earth to a certain height. Okay, the height can be upward like this or the height can be stretched also. Okay, that means some distance original position bar alikati distance the body has been stretched. Example of body which contains potential energy are rubber band which is stretched. So okay, like I told you, potential energy, it is contained in a body which is at rest, means the body is not moving but the body has been lifted to a certain height. Example, another is a ball which is lifted ball or object. When we lift any ball or object in the upward direction, then that object will contain potential energy. That means suppose I'm taking a ball and I'm lifting it up. Okay, now the ball is in my hand, it is not moving. That means it is at rest. But the ball has the potential to move because when I release my hand, मैले त्यो बलबाट आफ्नो हात छोड्यो भने the ball will automatically move downward. भनेपछि त्यो बलमा एउटा एनर्जी रहेछ के गर्नलाई मुभ गर्नलाई भनेपछि नाउ द बल कन्टेन्स पोटेन्शियल एनर्जी. Another kind of energy is that energy which contains in a body which is at motion. That means a body which is moving. Any moving object, example a man who is walking or a fan which is rotating or a car which is moving, any moving object will contain kinetic energy. Now, after energy, we come to unit. What is the unit of energy is? The unit of energy is written in joule. Joule, joule. Unit of energy is written in joule. Unit of energy is the same as the unit of work. Both work and energy, it has the same unit, joule. Now, let us see the formula for calculating potential energy and kinetic energy. Potential energy formula is mass into gravity into height, m into g into h. Kinetic energy formula is half into m into v square. Okay, so half into mass into v is velocity or speed of that object. Kinetic energy, I told you, it is contained in a moving object. Any moving object will have a speed. So त्यो moving object को mass कति हो into we will square with the speed. This is the formula of kinetic energy. This is the formula of potential energy. So you need to remember the formula of potential energy, kinetic energy, so that in our next class we can practice some numericals based on this. Okay, thank you.